All right, welcome. If you've ever tried to make digital music and felt like it was missing, well, a human touch, then you are in exactly the right place. This is your quick start guide to the GENCA MPE Ultra Continuum, and I promise, by the end of this, you'll be ready to make your first track with this amazing piece of gear.
You know, this is a question that pretty much every music producer runs into. You've got these incredible sounds, but they can feel a little static, kind of robotic. So how do you breathe life into them? How do you get that feeling of a real live performance? Well, that's the exact problem the Continuum was designed to solve.
So what is this thing? Well, at its heart, it's a super powerful hybrid instrument. And the wildest part? It runs right in your web browser, no installation needed. But the one thing you really need to remember, the single idea that drives this whole thing, is that last word right there, expression.
Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to peek under the hood and see what this thing's made of. Then, we'll dive right in and make our first sound from scratch. After that, the fun part, adding soul with MPE. Then we'll polish it all up with some effects, and finally, we'll go from a simple idea to a finished audio file. Let's do it.
So what is actually making the sound? Well, at its core, the Continuum has what's called a hybrid sound engine. Now, what that really means is it's smashing together two totally different ways of making sound. This lets you blend them to create these incredibly rich, complex textures you just couldn't get with one or the other.
And this slide breaks it down perfectly. On one side, you've got your wavetable synthesis. That's your ticket to those moving, evolving, really digital and synthy sounds. On the other side, you have a multi-slot sampler. This is for playing back actual audio recordings, think organic, real-world sounds. You can use either one by itself, sure, but the real magic, trust me, is when you start blending them.
Okay, enough theory, let's get our hands dirty. You know, the fastest way to make an instrument feel like it's yours is to use your own sounds. So that's what we're going to do. Load a custom sample right into that sampler engine.
And honestly, it could not be easier. You just find the sampler section, pick one of those empty slots, and literally just drag and drop your wave file right onto it. Now that last step is crucial. Assign a root pitch. All that means is you're telling the instrument, hey, this sound I just gave you is a C, so when you play an F on your keyboard, it knows to play a correctly pitched F. Super important.
Okay, we've got a sound. Now for the really fun part. This is the secret sauce, the thing that makes this instrument so special. We're going to inject some human soul using MPE. This is where we stop just pressing keys and start actually performing.
So what in the world is MPE? It stands for MIDI Polyphonic Expression. And here's the easiest way to think about it. On a normal keyboard, when you use the pitch bend wheel, every single note you're holding down goes up or down together, right? With MPE, you can bend or shape each individual note in a chord all by itself, just like a guitarist can bend one string while the others keep ringing out.
So how do you actually do it in the Continuum? It is all about these things called ghost circles. See, when you play a note, one of these little green circles pops up. If you drag it left and right, that's your x-axis, you get those beautiful smooth pitch slides on just that one note. Drag it up and down, the y-axis, and you're actually changing the tone, maybe opening a filter. It basically turns your mouse or touch screen into this amazing fretless surface.
And this quote from the manual just hits the nail on the head. The whole point is to give you a level of expression that a standard keyboard just physically can't do. And here's a pro tip. A really cool way to work is to play the notes with one hand on your MIDI keyboard and then use your other hand on the mouse to drag these circles around and add all that expressive detail. It's a game changer.
All right, so we have a sound we love, and we're performing it with real feeling. The next logical step is to give it some polish. We're going to use the harmony engine and effects to put our sound into a real space and make it sound totally pro. These tools are just fantastic for building an idea really fast. For instance, the chord generator can turn one little note into a big, lush chord. The scale presets, they lock you into a musical key so you literally can't hit a wrong note. It's perfect for just improvising and exploring. And the arpeggiator? Just hold down a chord and it will create these amazing rhythmic patterns for you. And then, to top it all off, you've got this awesome chain of effects. You have your standard filter and chorus, but I have to call out the D-Rev mode on the delay. That's a reverse delay, and oh man, it is incredible for creating those huge, swelling, psychedelic textures. And of course, a great sounding reverb at the end to put it all in a nice, realistic space.
Okay, so we've designed a sound, we've performed it expressively, we've polished it with effects. The only thing left to do is actually capture that musical moment. So let's look at how to record it and export it as an audio file you can use absolutely anywhere.
And you know, one of the best features is that you don't need any other software. The whole recording workflow is built right in. You just click the record button, play your part, and then hit stop. That instantly pops up an editor showing you the waveform you just made. From there, you can just trim it down to the perfect take and export it as a high-quality WAV file, straight to your computer. It's that simple.
Finally, I just want to show you how flexible this tool really is. You can think of it as wearing a few different hats. You can use it in standalone mode, where it's a complete all-in-one instrument. Or you can turn its internal sounds off and use it as a super powerful MIDI processor to control your other instruments. Or, my personal favorite, you can use it in hybrid performer mode, playing notes on your keyboard while adding all that MPE magic with the mouse.
And that's it. In just a few minutes, we've gone from a totally blank slate to a unique, expressive, polished, and exported piece of audio. You now have everything you need to break free from that static, kind of robotic digital sound. So the only question left is the one on the screen. Now that you have the tools, what sound are you going to create first?